Crossovers in comic books are nothing new. From Lobo and Judge Dredd to Archie meeting the Punisher, crossovers are a great way to introduce these characters to new fans and stories you can never imagine happening. This is not exactly the case for Batman and Deadpool. What's up, Doc? I'm Pugs Bunny, and we're going to talk about a recent crossover, Deadpool meets Batman. Marvel and DC wants to bring excitement back to comics and try to attract new or older readers with a very unusual crossover. The no-kill, always serious Batman and the Merc with a mouth Deadpool being the first major crossover in over 2 decades. Marvel's president of entertainment chose the pair simply because it just felt like a fun combo. Which he's not wrong, it is a fun idea. But in my opinion, writer Zeb Wells did not really tell a unique story. But to show you what I mean, let's just get into it. It's a dark night in Gotham, and a full moon illuminates Bruce Wayne's manor. We see Bruce sitting in the dark, thinking about a string of break-ins at chemical plants by the Joker, struggling to find his location. He says, looking for answers in the night, knowing that when they come, all too often, they come without warning. And suddenly Deadpool smashes through the glass. Deadpool begins bickering with Wayne, offering his services to take down any of Wayne Enterprises' rivals. After being turned down though, Deadpool decides he's gonna leave, saying he needs to focus on catching Batman anyways. Bruce throws some underhanded jabs at Deadpool. He's like, Batman is only found when he wants to be, yada yada, but Deadpool notices the bat signal and begins his hunt there. Bruce begins donning his costume. At the bat signal, we see Jim Gordon waiting. That's when Deadpool arrives. The two begin to bicker, and he aims his sword right at Jim Gordon's face. Gordon tells Deadpool that he's gonna regret that. And suddenly, almost like Gordon has Batman on payroll, Batman springs down on top of Deadpool, punching him right in the face. He even hits his thuggest line ever, "Welcome to Gotham." The two begin to battle, Deadpool actually pulling some enjoyment out of Batman. Like Deadpool says, "Hiya!" and Batman corrects him with a proper "Kia!" Deadpool admits he sucks at karate, so he pulls a knife. Too bad I brought toys. Batman gives a cheeky smile. So did I, throwing 3 batarangs into Deadpool's arm, followed by smoke pellets. That's when Deadpool pulls his straps, but he's immediately subdued by a wire. And Deadpool goes on about how he couldn't bring himself to kill the Batman anyways, and that everyone wants to know who would win in a fight between the two of them. Batman's confused on what he means, but Deadpool assures him that they've won each other's respect anyways. So it's all good. Batman points out that everything Deadpool says was wrong, and begins formulating a plan with Gordon to track down the Joker, only having 6 hours to find him before he releases the Joker venom on Gotham. Deadpool chimes in, telling them that in his line of work, a full moon is good because the tides lower and reveal hundreds of cave entrances, perfect for hiding a body. Deadpool offers to help them catch the Joker, pointing out that it takes a madman to catch a madman. And next thing you know, the two are in the Batmobile. Deadpool hits Batman with a pretty funny insult. Bumpy ride. They should use the gravel in your voice to fill these potholes. Deadpool goes on about how cramped the Batmobile was, asking if it's only built for one. I work alone, unless I have a Robin, Batman replies. Ah yes, the boy wonder. Fighting crime with a shapely young boy. Safe to assume you've already heard every joke I could make about that. Deadpool smugly smiles while Batman looks clearly annoyed. Suddenly, Deadpool pulls a sleeping gas grenade and sets it off. Batman shoves Deadpool's head into the window before he passes out. And we also learn that Deadpool can't drive stick. After a fade to black, we see Batman waking up, bound inside of a cave covered in rundown amusement park rides. The Joker is there. He's trying to make a grand entrance, but Deadpool keeps interrupting his monologue. The Joker stands at Batman, really showing a height difference between the two. I never really thought a taller Joker would look weird, honestly. I kinda don't like it. Joker explains that he needed an accountability buddy, instead of goons to keep his own executive dysfunction at bay. Batman plays into Joker's ruse. And where did you find this? Grrr. Accountability buddy. Joker laughs, revealing he had Clarion the Witch Boy teach him a spell to summon someone as mad as the Joker, which didn't work because his match was in a different universe. Joker requested the aid of the Reverse Flash, where Joker then mocks Nightwing. And I quote, "But I don't hear these glutes complaining, Nightwing who?" Batman continues playing into Joker's delusion, saying Deadpool was crazier than Joker, pointing out that the lifetime the Joker had spent trying to drive Batman crazy, but Deadpool was able to do it in only an hour. Then saying Deadpool is a villain worthy of his obsession. This was too much for the Joker. He politely asked Deadpool to give him and his nemesis some privacy, and Deadpool, moved by Batman's words, calls him special, and since he's beginning to get obsessed with him, they should let him live, and they could both be his nemesis. I don't really care for the Joker's design too much in this. This TV smile he gives is really good. I do like this panel a lot, but he reaches his hand out and shakes on it with Deadpool. That's when Joker injects Deadpool with Joker venom. But it has little effect. All it did was make Deadpool smile, and he backhands the Joker. Deadpool runs to Batman, sword drawn, but Batman frees himself, and Deadpool stops, admitting he was actually going to free Bats. Batman doesn't believe him though, but Deadpool assures Batman that his healing factor was curing the Joker venom, and Batman hilariously hits him with, "Someone should tell your face that." Batman then runs over to the Joker, who tells him in 30 seconds enough Joker venom will be released through the utility pipes in Gotham to poison every man, woman, and child. Joker tells Batman to stop the venom, he has to press a button in the center of a carousel, but he will be killed by an explosion. Do you see it now? Do you understand why we're both here? Whether in the fire of heroism or in the shame of cowardice, Batman dies tonight, Joker laughs. Deadpool then runs to the carousel and presses the button himself. The Joker is surprised that he did that, and is suddenly bound and gagged and thrown into the Batmobile's trunk. Batman then enters his Batmobile, a little annoyed that Deadpool dented it because he couldn't drive stick. Deadpool's excited for the next adventure they're gonna go on, but Batman explains to Deadpool that all that was a lie. He said what he had to say to play Deadpool and the Joker, even pointing out that he knew Deadpool was playing him from the very beginning with Gordon. Batman kind of thanks him for saving Gotham by not capturing him, but he tells him to go home and not to show his face in Gotham again. After speeding off, Deadpool peeks at the reader with a large grin. No harm in taking a little peek around the city, right? And that's where the story ends. But we're surprisingly only halfway through the comic. So the next series of stories in the comic take place in a time where Marvel and DC are existing in one world together. So don't expect something like the Batman Deadpool crossover that just happened, where Joker used a Reverse Flash and Clarion the Witch Boy to bring Deadpool to Gotham. And just to show you what I mean, let's get into the next story with Wonder Woman and Captain America, the gun and the sword. Taking place in World War II, this crossover tells a story of justice over vengeance and a bond that exceeds the multiverse. We start with Captain America narrating over Wonder Woman beating up Nazis. He says that God had come to end the war, confirming to him that they were on the right side of divine justice. Cap tells us during the war, he looked at Wonder Woman as a symbol to inspire him. But once months turned to years, Cap had given up on her ever coming to help. We see Wonder Woman enter a base where Captain America has Hitler at gunpoint. Cap holds his gun as Wonder Woman readies her sword, telling Cap that Hitler was surrendering and killing him would not end the war. But Cap, at his lowest, thinks to himself, of all the pain and death this horrible dictator has left in his wake, why should he allow him to live? One of them killed my best friend and plunged me into an icy dark water. And then I went to sleep and woke up to a world of heroes with you as our beacon, still the same, unchanged by time. We're all one world, one universe, one fight. We get to see Wonder Woman battling Galactus and a mix of Marvel and DC heroes working together. I don't mean to mock the dead, But seeing this face of Superman while holding Supergirl just screams, I'm disappointed, rather than sad. Even the Hulk looks like he's laughing at her. We cut back to Wonder Woman and Cap. He's leveraging with her. One bullet. That'd be all it takes, he says. Wonder Woman agrees. It tells him that would make Cap an executioner, telling him Hitler harmed the world, and it's the world's job to decide his fate. Cap questions her for carrying a sword, if not to kill with. But Wonder Woman avoids the question, and wraps Cap with the lasso of truth. She tells him he had heard of the man who stands for justice. Then she asks her questions. Do you truly wish to kill this man? Cap responds, I do. She asks, is this right? Is this justice? Cap grits his teeth. We see a compilation of other adventures the two had, coming to the conclusion that they have both been burdened with being a symbol of peace, almost not giving them a choice in the matter. No matter how much the universe tried to keep them apart, they would find each other, their lives intertwined like fate. Cap drops the gun, ready to let the world end that monster. But suddenly, in an act of deja vu, Hitler jumps for the gun and puts it to his chin. And as the trigger is pulled, Cap is blasted by a red laser. We see him and Wonder Woman are at the edge of everything, seeing infinite universes struggling to survive. Captain America is gravely wounded, and he's laying in rubble. Wonder Woman flies over to him. I'm dying, and the only thing making me sad is seeing all the universes where we never met, he thinks to himself. Wonder Woman sits with the injured Steve, assuring him that she will save him. He holds her lasso. You already saved me from the moment we met, and we've been saving each other ever since. Diane smiles. You put down the gun, and I put down the sword. Steve slowly fades. You have to defend it, and the monster destroying it, he needs to be brought to justice. Wonder Woman leads the heroes into battle, remembering Steve's final words. So, although this story is a little shorter and not what I expected out of a Deadpool Batman crossover comic, it holds a lot of weight. I think it does both characters really well. They both face dilemmas and kind of question their moralities and help each other find that path that they were slowly losing track of. But so far, I honestly think I might like it more than the Batman and Deadpool story. It tells a much deeper, more impactful story in a much smaller amount of time. Catch is a cute short story between Krypto the Superdog and Jeff the Land Shark. We see Krypto at the Fortress of Solitude, playing with a ball. Then he blows it across the ocean, where we see Jeff the Land Shark slap the ball back. Krypto gets excited. The two seem to be familiar with each other, this being a game they play often. Krypto and Jeff meet at a shipwreck with a large net strung across the ice. The two adorably play volleyball together until they are tired. Suddenly, an arrow with a note is shot through the ball. Jeff, come home, dinner's ready, the note says. At the same time, Supergirl whistles for Krypto. Come home, boy, dinner. Krypto and Jeff high-five through the net and give a little bark goodbye to each other as they head off back home to eat their dinners and to have fun another day. I really enjoyed this story. Very short, almost no dialogue, and it's just cute. I mean, it's hard to not enjoy it. I love animals, most people do, and seeing two of them just coexist and play together is always going to be a W. Plus, I didn't know who Jeff the Land Shark was until now, and I love him. I want to see him and King Shark together. What happens when a green arrow crosses a daring devil? Well, they become friends, of course. The story of their fateful meeting begins with Daredevil battling with the League of Shadows, while Green Arrow tracked a variant of them from Star City. The two are overwhelmed, and as they retreat, the two bump into each other, Daredevil sensing Arrow's heartbeat and Arrow's ass being bumped. Daredevil assumes it's Hawkeye, but Arrow assures him he's not from Iowa. Suddenly, the two are attacked by the League once again. The two throw verbal jabs at each other while fighting the League. So I'm guessing you're on the side of the Angels, Devil Dog. And the Renaissance Fair's not in Battery Park till next month, continuing on to call him Friar Tuck. The two formally introduce themselves, and Daredevil begins to explain the ninjas they are fighting mastered magic, being able to regenerate. So Green Arrow triple headshots one of the ninjas, but his kill streak is short-lived once another ninja zips in, kicking Arrow through a wall. Suddenly, Daredevil's senses are scrambled by Count Vertigo. He floats down to the incapacitated devil, and he holds out a gun. And today, I am an angel sending a demon back to hell. Weren't you listening, Warner? A voice asked off screen. This is hell, as a boxing glove Arrow pounds Vertigo straight in his face. Or at least Hell's Kitchen, Arrow says as he stands over Vertigo, whose sense-shattering implant lays broken on the ground. Arrow helps Daredevil up. Sorry I left you stranded, Satan, he apologizes, because he had to improvise a non-lethal way to take down Vertigo. Ollie was able to get the glove from Fogwell's gym, throwing the arrow to the ground. The two head out to trade secret origin stories with each other, ending on a shot of the glove labeled Jack Murdoch. Oh yeah, that was nice. A crossover I didn't know I wanted. The two play off each other really well, and I'd say their chemistry is better than Deadpool and Batman's, but the Deadpool and Batman story is way better than theirs. And also, I do love the little touch of the properly colored dialogue boxes at the beginning. I would love to see a sequel of their story. Imagine the Lantern Corps trades Hal Jordan with Rocket Raccoon of the Guardians of the Galaxy. This short story follows the exploits of the Green Raccoon. And yes, he does look amazing. Day 1, Rocket shoots Sinestro in the face. Day 2, Rocket bets his ring at a casino with Green Arrow. Day 2.5, Rocket and Arrow pull a heist and rob the casino. Day 3, a Guardian of Oa is on the Lantern landline with Nova, asking if he would pick his friend up. Nova tells the Guardian Hal's been trouble too. Apparently recruiting a rebel super cop who's a magnet for cosmic hand jewelry was a bad idea. Then asking what a parallax was, as Hal wields the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos and the Guardians lay at his feet. Hal states, "Beware my power," as the short story ends. What a cheeky story. This is what it means to create unique stories with this crossover. I can only imagine the destruction Infinity Jordan could cause. Actually, he may have been the reason for a mess of an art style in the next crossover. Who would win in a fight? Old Man Logan or Old Man Bats? Well, Frank Miller provides the answer to this question. Creator of legendary works like Batman Year One and Wolverine, he tells us a short story of the two old men fighting it out. During this ugly battle, Batman hits Wolverine with some really absurd, kind of southern-sounding dialogue. Left you a whole string of Christmas presents down here, boy. Wrapped them up all special, just for you. All that sound and fury, all that rage and ruin, and all that time, you just ain't watching the store. Gives the man with the brain plenty of time. Suddenly, Batman drops some bombs on Wolverine's back. As an awkward Wolverine lays with smoke trailing off of his back, Batman wraps this story up with a final question. Ready to call it a day, Fido? Ready to run on home and lick your wounds? Logan responds, "Sure, bub. And you come visit anytime you get the itch. I'll show you a time." So, I guess Batman wins? So this is not my favorite. Actually, so far, it's my least favorite. I don't care too much for Frank Miller's writing, or his art, but I won't downplay his talent and the impact on the comic world. So we're just gonna move on to the final short story. Enter Logo, the newest entry in Marvel and DC's Amalgamverse. Logo, being the amalgamation of Lobo and Logan, gives us a cold opening, killing Coltron for a bounty. Logo states his name, last of the Canuckazians, the biggest, baddest bub stitch in the whole fragging universe. No worries, Coltron can regenerate though, and will be hunted for another bounty sooner than later. Logo rides off on his sick space Harley, but he does leave behind a gift for our dear Thanoside. Logo blows up the Thanoside copter, leaving poor sad Thanos sulking. Our final scene shows Logo writing to the reader, his hook claw risen above his head and his chains whirling behind him, and tells Super Soldier that when he hears of Weapon XXX here roaring in his ears, it means I'm coming for him. Logo's pretty cool. I like his design, and the two personalities are somewhat meshed well. Seems like Lobo's personality was more dominant though, being pretty hyperactive. Also, destroying the Thanos copter, that was kind of a dirty move in my opinion. So, I'm curious to see how Logo can impact the Amalgaverse. That's the crossover, released September 17th, 2025. I have to say, it overall was kind of lackluster. I mean, Batman and Deadpool's crossover was the selling point, but I don't think they did anything special, honestly. They have so many stories to tell with these two, but we got a predictable Batman was playing Deadpool, Joker hired Deadpool, Deadpool makes pointless sacrifice story. Like, at least the Wonder Woman and Captain America crossover had morality play a role. And maybe it's just me, but why wasn't Deathstroke in this? Batman having to catch Deathstroke while Deadpool is constantly fighting both and ripping on like the rip-off aspect? That would be good. That would be gold. And also, I think Rocket and Green Lantern's story was probably my favorite out of the potential it has. And maybe a sequel to the Deadpool Batman crossover. Maybe see Deadpool fight against more Batman villains or team up with them to fight more, of the Bat family. This is all my opinion, and usually it's not a popular one, but it's mine. What are yours? Let me know down below. Please be nice about it. And I hope you enjoyed my video, and stay tuned for more comic book or superhero content. Have a great day.